So when you say what excites me most in advertising was when I took something and made it a giant part of the culture, and that was the most thrilling, of the things I worked on, and I've done a couple of dozen like that. The Esquire covers, what I was most excited about was, was the anti-war stuff, stuff that helped wake up America, and woke up people to the greatness of Muhammad Ali. Because when I did that cover of Muhammad Ali, Saint Sebastian, he was. I mean, if there was a poll on it, there's 80% of the country, white and black, were against him, and that cover in and of itself helped change America's attitude about the war, and directly helped change Martin Luther King from saying to all the Southern, all the black leaders, that he would keep out of talking against the Vietnam War, because he didn't want to piss off Johnson, because Johnson was a real pioneer in helping forge civil rights laws, but the second he came out against defending Muhammad Ali and against the war, he was in deep shit with Johnson. So I mean, I think I'm proud of a lot of things I've done that helped change the culture. I mean, that's the stuff that you really remember. I mean, yeah, I say that I would do a magazine, but I probably would start an ad agency and show everybody how it's done. There was an article I just read the other day. What's funny is you read 30 magazines, you can't remember where you read it. In the old days, if you read something Esquire, one of my covers, you remember where you saw it. But that's beside the point. There was an article that the head of the third largest agency in the world, Publicis, I guess, Maurice Levy. And he goes questions and answers. He goes on and on and on. All he talks about is technology. I mean, there's not one fucking word talking about his ad agency that mentions creativity. It's got nothing to do. The product's got nothing to do with what they do. What they're about. It's shocking. That's the way it used to be with all the ad agencies. I remember there were agencies like Ogilvy made it after David Ogilvy died, and they talked about him, and the reason they sold themselves on the fact that they were a scientific agency in the sense that they did this great research, and I tell everybody, advertising isn't a science, it's an art. I mean, science. Most people to this day, most people who judge advertising in the world, certainly in America, they've all gone to marketing schools and communication schools, and they've been taught that advertising and marketing is a science. Because how do you teach it's an art? I mean, what would these schools say for advertising and marketing is an art? How do you teach that? So to this day, the way you show clients, most clients, something and something really edgy, and they'll look at it and they'll say, very interesting, and they'll hand it to somebody who's sitting next to them, their senior VP, and say, very interesting, research it and find out if I like it. There's no people don't talk about the creativity of something, It's astounding in all walks of life. You know, I mean, starting with the head of one of these giant ad agencies. You know, but I was talking about Ogilvy Maynard, and I remember the woman was the head of the agency, and she went on and on and on and on and on about the way they research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it's about time. Not one mention of creativity. I mean, and people like Will Bernbach, when he did Dog Day and Bernbach, or people like me with Papa King and Lois, and Mary Wells at Wells Rich Green, that's all we talked about was creativity. What the fuck else is there to talk about? That's the name of the game. It's the product, It's when you talk to a guy to Mullally at the Ford, he talks about the car, about the product,